In 2026, globally, there was rising authoritarianism, there was racism, women's rights were being threatened, and these two women decided to show us something different.
We're unfortunately living in a moment of visible racism, rising authoritarianism, and fear for many families. In this edition of The Color Between the Lines, I'm speaking with feminist leader Gloria Steinem and Nobel Peace Prize winner Leymah Gbowee about why they wrote a children's book together called Rise, Girl, Rise. They have advice on what women must teach girls right now about courage, sisterhood, and survival. Gloria Steinem has been one of the most recognized feminist organizers in American history and co-founded the Women's Media Center. Leymah Gbowee is a Liberian peace activist and Nobel Peace Prize laureate who helped lead the women's movement that ended Liberia's civil war. Together, they're speaking to girls in this moment. Both of you have spent decades speaking to adults in moments of crisis, and I just wonder, why was it important for both of you to write this book together to address girls and at this moment? Because you could have done it separately and it could have been a different time. So why now and why together?
It was very important to do together because girls and grown-ups are attracted, first of all, to sameness, to something they identify with. So to double our ability to reach out, it was important to do together. And also, I just love Leymah. I mean, I think it's way more fun and interesting to do things with her than to do things by myself.
Leymah? Oh, Miss
Well,
Bowie?
no, Leymah is fine. Leymah is fine. I think in these moments, what the both of us represent is from our different spaces, people look up to us, girls look up to us. And it was very important for me that we do this project together. Adults, like you said earlier, have heard from us all of our lives. It was important for us to do something for girls, for them to see that in a moment in time, 10, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, when someone pick up a copy of this book, it will be that in 2026, globally, there was rising authoritarianism, there was racism, women's rights were being threatened, girls and women were being told, even boys were being suppressed, people were being hunted, and all of the different things. And these two women decided to show us something different. And for me, that is the essence of what we've done. Two separate individuals. I'm from Liberia, way out there, Gloria's from this side, and us coming together and saying, this is what we want to leave, not just for children, but for humans. So people say it's a children book. I said, no, it's a human book. It's a sister's book. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I have to ask Leymah, because of your activism and your life's work shows that you tried to highlight how just ordinary women can really change things and see themselves differently, see themselves as leaders. How did you bring that idea of that courage into this book for young girls?
Oh, I was telling someone earlier on that this entire book is like a summary of our life work, of our life story, because no one was born great. No one was born an icon. No one was born. What happens, especially in my world, is your ability to take that ordinary thing, your gift, your talent, and nurture it and turn it into extraordinary for the world. And I think that's the message that I want to put out there, because we live in a world where our young girls are primarily obsessed with what is trending. And I tell people that legacy is never built on trends. If you go on social media today, on the left-hand corner or right-hand corner, you see all of the things that are trending. The next hour, something else will overtake it. And the next hour, something else will overtake it. So the essence of this book is to say to them, be you, be your ordinary self. Turn your ordinary self into extraordinary. Turn your ordinary gift into extraordinary gift. Yeah, I think that's the
Mm.
message for me.
And in my case, I had a mother who, before I was born, had been a journalist and loved being a journalist. And she had given it up because of the needs and demands of my father, who was a very nice guy, but was running a faraway resort, and she could not keep up her journalism. And I saw the cost that was to her. Um, I saw how much uh, she would teach me how to hold a reporter's notebook in my left hand so I could, take notes with my right hand. In seeing what she had lost, I understood what it was important not to give up.
Because I know that you both grew up on different sides of the world, different conditions. You arrived, however, I see at this kind of the same belief that women working together really can change things, change history.
Mm.
What did you recognize in each other that made this collaboration just feel just right?
Well, Lema was already a great recognized community leader, world leader. You'd have to be not aware, not to understand, how much her potential was. And fortunately, as a child, because for accidental reasons of my family who were traveling all the time, I didn't go to school, so I was always reading. And so I read books that conveyed whether they were Louisa May Alcott or, all kinds of, or from about African children, whatever it was, that gave me the idea that the world was the point, not my individual country.
Elema?
I mean, when I've on the continent interacted with women, I've come to different parts of the world, and there are certain things that I try to discern in my interaction. The first one is respect. How you see me, how you interact with me. When I met Gloria, I wasn't a Nobel Peace Prize winner. I was just this girl from Liberia, and she was really, really respectful, very intent. When people are dismissive, you feel it. When they're just performing in a conversation, you feel it. And that was not just the one time, the two times, the three times, easy to talk to, really open to whatever form of collaboration there was. And I'll tell you one thing. We traveled to North Korea together, and we spent 6 days in North Korea, Gloria, myself, and some other activists. And in those moments, the two of us were responsible for media. And I know that there are days that people wanted to hear from her more, but I this woman embodies empowerment, because empowerment is not just helping people, it's stepping back so that others can step into their own. And I've seen this with her over and over and over and again. Yeah.
I cannot leave both of you without talking about this because we're living in a moment where there's a lot of visible racism. Families are being separated, people are being taken from their moms and dads, and girls are growing up with real fear and uncertainty around them. As you were creating this book, I'm sure that you had that some of that was in your heart and how you were trying to get the message across. How did you, I guess, hold that reality while speaking to girls with care and honesty and still bring across the message?
Esther, everywhere in the world today, no one is even listening. Everyone is screaming at each other. If your views are not aligned with mine, if they don't seem like they're similar or they're synced, I don't want to talk to you. This book is not screaming. There's no rage in it. There's no fight in it. There's no conflict in it. It's a gentle persuasion that everything else around us is falling and failing. But togetherhood, and that's a word we use in there, togetherhood will never fail. So 10, 20, 30, 40 years from now, there is a part of this book at the back that I really like. It says, when I put my hand in yours, together we do what we could never do alone. Sister friends, whose united words create, celebrate, claim, and fly. But the part that I really like is putting my hand in yours, and together we can do what we could never do. Girl, that message is internal, like forever. Decades later, you still need someone to hold your hand. And I think that is key. And writing that book for girls, that you will turn into a woman, you may get married, you may not get married, but you will always need someone to hold your hand to conquer something, and together we can do it.
And I think Lema invented Togetherhood is a word, which I love. And I was helped early on because even though I was a product of the 50s, which were pretty conservative, I went to live in India for 2 years afterwards, where I was trying to learn about Gandhi, who was, the most famous Indian person at the time. And I went to interview various women who knew him. And I remember one of them sitting on the veranda rocking him and saying, "Well, my dear, we taught him everything he knew." And it turned out that it was the women's movement which had inspired him, which caused him to dress as he dressed, to speak as he spoke. And that was a great lesson to me.
That's Gloria Steinem and Leymah Gbowee discussing their book, Rise, Girl, Rise, Our Sister Friend Journey Together for All. It's available wherever books are sold. And if you're looking for more conversations like this, please subscribe to The Color Between the Lines. Until next time, I'm Esther Dillard, and this is The Color Between the Lines.